area or stay above this area. Now looking at the 15-minute time frame, we're creating
Sorry guys, give me 1 second. Trying to fix something really quick. All right, sorry about that. Um, Let me do a quick breakdown for you guys on we're gonna do gold and we're gonna do GJ. All right. All right. So yesterday we had GJ. Let's see how it played out. Um, in terms of our analysis, let's go into the 1 hour chart right now. In terms of our analysis, we were pretty correct in a long-term move, right? We had buys looking above this area. As prices start to break above that area, we would have had great buys. Um, for this area, we're looking for shorts. Not too much potential here. You know, we've created some trends, broke some trends over here. I would say that your trend is now something like this. This would be your inner trend, right? Um, let's take it from the top. Let's reset everything. Just take off all the drawings. Right. So we know on the 4 hour we have a distinct support or resistance area, right? Sorry, I don't know why I have these. All right, so yeah, we have a distinct support resistance area, right? This is a very solid zone for prices to react to, right? We also have prices reacting at this zone. We also have prices sort of reacting within this mid zone, but in all honesty, I'd want to just get something like that, right? And we'll drop into the 1 hour. We'll get a better um, zone for ourselves. So another zone is something like that, right? We see a break, test, retest multiple times, break, failed to continue, retest, continuation, break above both support resistance levels, found more resistance up here, came down, failed to break any lower. So we're kind of ranging within these two support resistance area, which gives us 130 pip range to work with, right? So in all honesty, we're pretty good for buys lately. Your weekly is ending off pretty good. Um, you have, why is there this? Your daily, you have, this week has been pretty rangy, as we know from what we've kind of just identified, right? On the 4 hour, we're still looking like a bullish uptrend, but slowly starting to weaken as we see the strong push down recently, which was yesterday's push or 2 days ago, right? Yesterday was more of like your pullback. 2 days ago was your push down to see if we can fail and break below to continue down, but prices were then brought up, and then now we can see that prices want to look to test the higher levels, and if we do start to break above any higher levels than here, then you're clean for buys for a very long time, right? We're breaking highs. Um, the monthly even looks pretty good. We got 10 more days in the month to continue to break past these highs, to maybe continue up to these highs. So we have to really be careful in this area. This is somewhere significant that we want to just be aware of, right? We also want to be aware of this area. Those are two key areas that we just want to look out for on the monthly, right? So on the monthly, this is what it looks like. We have a big range to work with um, to get to that area. So we have another 500 pips or so to get to that area. So GJ is still looking like a pretty bullish scenario. I would like to look for an entry for a buy as it starts to create support on the 15-minute, looking down to create support here, and then continue it up as we start to break structure to the upside on lower time frames like the 5-minute, but on the 30-minute we're closing higher highs, higher lows, right? So on your 30-minute you're going to see some sort of candlestick trend, right? But on your 5-minute you're going to see the wave of that trend, right? So what I mean by that is on your 30-minute, you're going to see something like these candles, right? But on your 5-minute, you're going to see something like this, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. These impulsive wave moves, right? So that's initially what we're trying to look for on our 5 minute time frames and stuff like that, right? Like this is what you'll see more often, right? Instead of just three straight bars of red bearish candlesticks, right? See, instead of this, you get what I'm saying. Instead of printing candles side by side, you actually see the whole wave formation on lower time frames, which is important. Um, let us, sorry about that. I am just setting up my MT5 account really quick, just making sure everything is good. GJ. Yeah, so initially we're still waiting on this. GJ, we sort of have a trend going on here. We have an up, we have a high, we have a lower high, we have a higher high, we have a lower high. So all in all, if I was to say there is some trend, I would say that this is currently what you're looking at, or something like this, right? Just to be safe. I think this is something better to look at, but in all honesty, there is a possibility that we have some sort of trend going like this. So mind you, this is still a 40 pip drop from between these two trends as, we start to break below this trend if it starts to take that much time. But, in the broad scheme of things, seems like we're heading up a little bit strong. So let's keep it simple. This is your outer trend line. Um, on the hourly, looks like we were pretty bearish at one point, right? So I'd say that you have a lower low, lower high, no lower low. So I think your most recent trend would be something like this right now. So this is your long-term trend line, your outer trend line, and then you have an inner trend line, which is more or less like your intraday move or current trend, right? So on the 5 minute, we have something like this, kind of just broke it, right? Looking to see some downside potential and create support before we look to continue back up, right? So we know that we have our three trends. We have our support resistance, supply demand, whatever you want to call it, right? And now we're just patiently waiting for our setup to make its way, right? There's no rush. It's just something we're just gonna have to wait. All right, so on gold, it's looking very bullish lately. Although we have still been in the range for 4 days now, we're starting to see buyers kick in and hold prices a little bit higher than normal, right? Sellers try to dip down. What was it? Last night during Asian session, London session failed, rejected, continued up. Um, so now we're seeing some bullish momentum around 5 o'clock, end of London volume. 3, 4, 5, usually your prime times for volume in London session. We're not really seeing much of a decline anymore, so we kind of broke through that um, downward momentum line and looking to take it up now, and looking just to follow this trend that we have on the lower time frames, right? So I mean, nothing interesting right now. Just patiently waiting for setups. Um, just gotta wait. Just gotta wait here, right? I could break this down again for you, but honestly, there's no point. It's not really that important. On your 4 hour, I just identified key levels, right? So your key levels of structure are somewhere around here, right? I mean, I'm gonna make them all touch just because it's probably more likely. I like this area. right? I like this area and this area are all significant areas of structure to me. These will all be significant areas of structure to me. Why? Because they have a pivotal high and a pivotal low point on the 4-hour chart, right? So you have a pivot high, pivot low, right? You break through your pivot high, you create new highs. As you start to create new highs, where does it go? Up here, right? We have a retest on these pivotal highs, right? So I know that this area is a significant area. We also have retests on your pivotal lows, which is right around here, right? This wick. This is a strong level too. I would even consider something like this, right? So now you have a range and a mid-range, right? You have an upper zone and a lower zone, and within that 4-hour, you have an hourly chart that has upper zones, lower zones, and mid zones. Same thing as you go down time frames, you'll start to see this. You'll start to realize that, hey, you have an upper zone, a lower zone, and a mid zone, right? And if you go on your 15-minute time frame and all that stuff, you'll see that this is your upper zone, right? This is your lower zone. This is your mid zone. Your upper zone is contained right here, and your lower zone is sort of contained like in this area. You know what I'm saying? And then your mid zone is somewhere around here. Cause it's just the way the price acts, man. So the reason why I'm looking for potential buys up here is because we have a clean range to 1883 after we hit 1880. So we're roughly sitting on like 20 pip range, 30 pip range, 40 pip range, right? So, and we're also sitting in some sort of consolidation right now, right? So we came up kind of ranging right now for the past, what, 2 hours, right? So we want to really sit out of this, play out of this range, right? So whether we continue up or whether we continue down, we know that we start off with a rally base. And now all we have to understand is, are we going to rally base rally or rally base drop on the higher time frames, like 30-minute, 1 hour, right? So that's essentially what I'm looking for. As it seems on the 1 hour, it looks like we're rejecting this higher level and we're looking to fall down. But you know, gold does its thing, and it can easily recover it, right? So gold can move like hundreds of pips in minutes, man. It's crazy. Sorry guys, that was sorry that my screen is like that. GJ seems like a good buy right now, honestly. I would like to take that GJ buy up. 5 minute looks like it's breaking to the upside. I'll wait for this 5 minute to close, see how it plays out, and probably look to take that up. Today we have core retails for Canadian, we have PMI, US, we have consumer confidence, Euro, sales, home sales. Nothing much. So hopefully Rocco comes in today. We're going to be teaching him basically the basics and getting him set up. So whenever he starts off, it'll be good for him. Hold on. So GJ, 5 minutes starting to create some sort of support on GJ. We see that 15 minute starting to close more on the bullish side. 30 minute looking to turn bullish. 15 minute was bearish at one point. Yeah, at the start of this 15 minute. But I would like to initially get a dip back here. That'd be kind of nice. But then I also want to see the break of this high. So if I can get a dip and then a bounce back and break a little bit of the high or close bullish at least, I think more or less I'll look for that trade. Yeah, we just need this 15 minute to close. GA moves 31 pips in less than 30 minutes. That's crazy. So on the 30 minute, we see that have a micro support somewhere around here. We're kind of micro support over here, right? And then we come down to this lower level. We have more range over here. All right, so 15-minute closed bearish actually. Wow. Oh God. Okay, so yeah, we're not going to be looking for that buy, but let's check on gold. Let's see how gold is doing. Gold actually, yeah, gold actually pushed up, but we're just going to wait. Yeah, so we're essentially waiting for this 30-minute candle to form. Uh, I essentially don't feel the most comfortable with taking a buy right away, but if we see a break above 1880, I think we have a good potential to hit like 30 pips, or you know, we could skyrocket to 1885 and really captivate on that trade too. So we have to be a little patient here. I think it's best if we stick to the plan as only trade when we have confirmation closures on your 30-minute, 15-minute. Those are your time frames that are really going to help you identify whether you should take the trade or you should wait. So, yeah, the yen just fell. All right, I'm gonna be right back. Just waiting for gold, but we seem like we're rejecting the upside now. So that's why I'm not really interested in taking buys just yet. If we start to break below this level and have a good confirmation on the 5-minute to look for sells, I would be looking for sells targeting here, here, and here. Last targets will probably be down here. Wow. So we have a nice rejection happening on the 30-minute and the hourly. Yeah, so what it seems like is we're moving up, but we're just pulling back. Yeah, so we pushed up on the 4 hour, pulling back now, and we still have that bullish sentiment. So if all goes well and we close above this area, I would say that we're okay for buys anywhere above 154.4. 154.4. If we start to break 154.500, I'm looking for buys above 154.500, stops below, targets at 154.750, 775, or higher. So this is a really nice setup, just in terms of how we have this bearish structure forming as a pullback onto this bullish environment, and we see that prices were having a resistance here and we broke out of it, and now we're retesting, but we didn't close below the resistance level, right? We didn't close below this resistance level. If we were to move this up just a bit, something like that. So yeah, what I was saying is good because we want to see a lower wick to make sure that this is the low, and we want to see price start to reverse back up. and it's nice because we have that resistance and we didn't close below, as I was saying before. So if we can hold above this price point of 154.4, like we have a good idea of taking off on the 15 minute if we start to see some bullish structure being formed on the 5 minute, and so it seems it's already happening. But on the 5 minute, I would like to have a break above this candle and to continue up. So I'm going to be looking for the trade very soon. Just going to execute it. And gold is starting to break above its own highs soon. So I want to take a look at that. We have some good structure on the 30 minute. Your hourly is looking pretty good for the next 30 minutes to continue, right? I just want to see a break of that structure to really know that we're heading up this time. We're not just going to keep wicking back down. Yeah, so I'm in a position roughly around here, I think. I want to get in early just to make sure I can cover some spread before it actually starts to go. So if it starts to go, right? I'm not a predictor or anything. I just assume that we're going to start heading up if we start to break this minor bearish structure, right? So, and it doesn't seem like we've broken it just yet, but it seems like we're on our way to break it. So I'm just going to be patient. I'm not really worried about that. For gold, gold is coming up, rejecting. I slowly want to see gold make its way. But essentially, um, for gold, I think 8 o'clock is the time that I want to look for that entry, because I think 8 o'clock will give me enough time and data to identify, is this thing still going to range or are we going to move, right? Might even move my stops to here. Probably going to do that right now. So I have moved my stops to 376, 376, somewhere around there. So I've reduced some risk and now I'm just letting it run. If this 5 minute starts to close bearish, I'm going to close half my position. Since we entered on the 15, I'll be managing on the 5 minute, just one time frame lower. And I'm just going to be looking for any candle closures that are bearish. And if they're bearish, I'm just looking to get out very quickly, like just save myself the loss. I already reduced my risk, so if I could reduce some more risk, that'd be great. And if I could take whatever profit I can first, that'd be more ideal. But I have a good feeling that we're gonna continue going up soon. So let's just be patient. Let's not worry about how it's moving, what it's doing. Just let it do its thing, right? So for gold, 15 minute is still looking a little iffy. We have some good bullish structure, a lot of strong bearish signals too. So I want to be careful. Like I don't want to get trapped up here when I'm looking for buys, and then it just starts to engulf all of it, and then continuously come down, and then wipe all these gains that we just had from the London and Asian session, right? So I want to be very cautious of that because this is possible. I've seen gold where it goes up one time, taps in, and then since you made a new high, it starts to recover everything and just straight down. All right, so we're starting to move up a little bit. Gold is heading down now. See, this is what I want to avoid. This, exactly. This. See what I mean? This shit happens all the time. 8 pips and drawdown already if you were to look for a buy thinking that this thing was going to break. This is why we wait for the highs to be broken. So we know it's a clear indication that, you know what, we're actually going up just like here. We waited for this high to be broken on a lower time frame like the 1 minute. Like the 1 minute, when the high is broken, you're able to take a buy and continue it, right? So what are we doing? We're doing the same thing, but on the 5 minute, right? So once the high of this candle was broken, we know that we're safe to take buys to look to continue up, right? Once this high is broken, we know that we're good and we can look to take positions up, but we haven't closed on this one. This candle closed, so we know that hey, we're in a good position right now. I entered a little early just because I had faith and I had confidence in this trade that it was going to work out. So like that's all with experience. You have to learn how to feel your intuition and trust your intuition here, right? And that's what I do. I like to trust my intuition. I like to follow a plan and trade simple. So it seems like what's happening is we have created some sort of reversal. And from what it seems like also is we had a retracement to our 50 fib. So we hit a golden zone, which is good for us. We're up about 6 pips. Once we hit around 10 pips, we're gonna be closing half our position or more. Yeah, so if this 15-minute candle closes bullish, we create a support on the 15-minute for then the 30-minute to find more buyers in this area to continue pushing it up, which will then lead us in a bullish sentiment on the hourly as we have a push and a retest and possibly a continuation for the New York session. On your 2 hour, it seems like we have a bullish breakout, right? And we just had a retest of lows, and we haven't had a retest of the highs yet. So that's what we're looking for. We're really looking for that push up, but as we're starting to reject now, it's a little bit iffy. So I'm gonna actually close off half my position just to save myself a little bit. Um, just not not okay with the situation that's happening now. Um, yeah, the 4 hour does have a lot of wicks here, and we did tap into that wick. So honestly, I can't get too greedy here. If it doesn't push back up, that's okay. Um, so yeah, we're starting to even break the low on the 5 minute, so we might as well even get out. Yeah, so we're gonna close half again just to be safe, because I don't want none of that. So GJ seems like it's falling down. So this trade is basically gonna be canceled. I reduced my risk twice. Actually, I closed half my position first, and then I closed another half. So and I reduced my stop loss. So all in all, I reduced a lot of risk that I had, and I'm only taking like a minimal loss if this does go south. So as we can see on the 15 minute on gold, gold is starting to push up, which I like to see. Hourly is about to close actually, so I don't know if that's a little bit important, but all right, so I'm fully out of this trade. Um, that's okay. Seems like we're not breaking above this level, so I think what personally could happen is that we're going to start to see a reversal. And this was your new high of this market to then um, find that reversal. But we still have another 5 minutes to go. This can easily clean that up and continue bullish as a wick fill on the 15 minute. Um, 30 minute looking bearish. 1 hour starting to look more indecision than bullish. Sorry, I'm just watching a seminar right now. Yeah, so we're falling below a certain level right now. Our sell level has been targeted. I do not feel comfortable taking that, but I want to wait for a 5 minute close before we look to continue taking the sells down 20, 30 pips, right? We have 8 o'clock momentum on us. Jesus. This is why I am staying out of the market right now, just because it's too wild. It's way too wild for me right now. And I'm not even sure of what's going on. So if I'm not sure, like it's bullish on the 4 hour. We got another hour to continue bullish, but if we need to see a break above that structure on at least the 15-minute break on the 15-minute. Yeah, massive candle on the 1 minute. All right, 50-minute has closed. I'm gonna look for buys. We have a good close above all these levels. I want to see sort of a retest down back to 1879.4, hopefully. Might look for this buy. I do essentially want to see 1880.5 kind of be broken, but yo, yo. Just give me a second. I'm currently in a trade right now. All right, so gold, we're up almost 10 pips. We just hit 10 pips. We're probably going to secure half our position, and then we're going to let the other half kind of run. We're going to put our stops at break even. Um, let's go ahead and just close half. All right, so we closed half at around 10 pips, putting stop losses a little bit higher, not to break even just yet. Um, actually, you know what? At this point, we're pretty high up. I'm just gonna put it to break even. We are pushing high up. This is an impulse move, so if it's gonna continue, it's gonna continue. But if it's gonna come down because of this significant level, then we might as well get stopped out. And if we are going to look for another position, then we'll have a better entry later down the road because New York session hasn't even started. So um, we just have basically New York Open. The New York Stock Exchange is still closed for another hour, so the volume on this could come back into the consolidation range, but we'll have to see how it plays out. 5 minute looks pretty good to continue. 1 minute looks like you're continuously making higher highs, higher lows. Looks like we have found momentum after the range. We've been sitting in for um, 5 hour, 4 hours, 3 hours, something like that. So we finally have that push to the upside, which is nice. Yeah, we could let this run. I think, yeah, man, I think at 1884, I'll put stops at in profit because we're up around 20 pips now. Yeah, 20 pips. So I'm looking to take another half actually, since we have that 20 pip. I took half of the position, and now I'm fully gonna let this run at stop loss break even. Just because my entry was pretty high, I don't want to put my stop loss into profits just yet. Um, I would have ideally liked to get in at 1880. That would have been great, but I was just still a little hesitant. So my analysis was let's just wait for the 5 minute to kind of push up a little higher, breaking these highs, so that I understand that we're truly pushing and we're not having another wick like how we had for the past 30 minutes, past hour, hour and a half. We had a lot of wicks up and down, up and down, and up and down. I didn't want to get caught in that, so I think I played it a little bit safer, but still we returned around 20 pips so far. We have a potential to return another 20 or so before we hit the cap of the highs for the week. Yeah, for the week. So if we can at least hit 1885, we're good. 1890 is the goal. I think I'll let it run to 1890, but overall, we'll have to see if that even happens. All right, yo, Rocco, how's it going, brother? You what? No, no worries. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you. Give me a sec. Let me just get your volume into this live stream just so I can look back at this stuff later down the road. How do I talk?
Hello.
There we go.
Did it work? Nice.
All right, yeah. So, um, yeah, what did you do yesterday?
Have you heard of the site Baby Pips?
Yeah, baby pips is great to learn, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
so I'm basically just going through that, like from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Uh,
That's good. Baby
I
pips
may
is
not
definitely
need
the
to
future.
do every single lesson or lecture, but
Mhm.
I'm certainly going through it.
I'm sure going through
Yeah.
all of it in general will help you. So, Like
Yeah,
any of it, just refresh your memory, get the gist of it. Like honestly, I haven't even done it. So like, let me look. Baby pips.
because there's like a preschool and it's like
Yeah,
42 lessons long.
yeah. Start learning, and then you track your progress. Sign in.
Hmm.
Preschool. What is forex? How do you trade forex? Can you trade forex? Yeah, that's basic stuff. Brokers. That's basic. Types of charts, that's basic. Resistance, Japanese candlesticks, Fibonacci's, moving averages, popular chart indicators, oscillators, momentum indicators, important chart patterns, pivot points, summer school. All right, don't do summer school.
Two summer schools. Where is it?
Because they're teaching you Heikin Ashi. I don't know what that is. I think it's a type of um, candlestick or something like that. And then
Oh, it's price
they
patterns.
teach you Elliott wave theory. Elliott wave theory, I don't know. Like you can learn it if you want. It does make sense, and you do see it a lot. Oh my God. Holy shit. Hold on. Gold is just fucking going right now.
Those pips.
Holy shit.
S-
Up 40 pips already. Yeah, so targets are hit.
So
We're extending targets to 1890 right now. Yeah, 1890 seems like a good target. Wow.
if I'm
Sorry, what were you saying?
if I'm not mistaken, 40 pips sounds astronomical. Like
Uh,
maybe not on gold.
no, 40 pips is great on gold.
Yeah,
40 pips is a $4 change on gold basically. So
yeah.
the price of gold is around 2,900. So
So yeah, that sounds really good for gold, but it sounds like almost ridiculous.
on
And this is
pairs,
just coming from a guy with zero. Yeah.
yeah. Usually like regular pairs, you're gonna have days where you're moving like you're moving 150, you're moving 80 pips, right? 100 pips, and then you're gonna have days that you're only moving 50 pips, and that's a whole
Mm,
day we're talking, you
the
know?
whole
So
day.
like
Yeah.
um, gold, you'll rarely have those days where you're moving 50 pips. If you're moving just 50 pips, that's scary for gold. Um, Shows a lot of indecision now. Just stay out of the market. But gold is very
Hmm.
volatile, and from what I've seen on my experience with gold for the past year, is that gold likes to fluctuate like rapidly. And whether it goes down or whether it goes up, it's gonna go, right? So you can't be hesitant when you're looking for entries. You just gotta take your entry and trust the process, right? You gotta trust your analysis and all that stuff. So um,
Hmm.
yeah, gold on a bad day, gold you're gonna see like 80 pips on a bad day, right? On a
Oh
good day,
man.
you could see anywhere from 250 to 350 pips in a day. And that's just one candle on the daily. But if you were to trade it on a 4 hour or an hourly time frame, you could probably catch 1,000 pips in a day back and forth as the market range is up and down because gold is so volatile, right? So mind you, that 1,000 pips, I mean that like 350 pips a day can be multiplied if you're buying and shorting the market and you're just hedging positions and stuff like that. But then again, you get into more risk complications and stuff like that. So don't do that. Just stick with just trading one to two trades a day, and you know focus on that. But anyways, out of everything you learned yesterday, do you have any questions so far, or no? You good?
Uh, what's the rule of thumb for take profits and stop losses?
Take profit and
If
stop loss. So this is where you create a
yeah.
trading plan. So a trading plan will help you um, identify these things for yourself.
Mm,
So um, how can I explain it? Let's go into a Word document, or is there somewhere that I can? Man, I like to draw, so you know what? I'm gonna just share my.
drawing sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like drawing, bro. So I'm gonna share my screen. Um, I'm just gonna keep the left one on. Focus on the right screen, okay? The right screen is where we're gonna, let's use Bitcoin because fuck Bitcoin. Fucking ho. Okay. So, in terms of putting, like, I mean, in terms of making a plan, I think your plan has to start with um, a few things. So, when you're creating a trading plan, one, uh, you're gonna look at when is the best time for you to trade. So ideally, like, um, trading times. When are you okay with trading, and when is it most ideal for you? Also, taking into consider, um, hold on, someone's messaging me about haircuts. I just
Yeah.
need to send them my address. All right, so when you're thinking about trading times, you also have to think about not what's also convenient for you, but like the sessions that are being operating throughout the day, right? Like the Asian session, the London session, the New York session. Is it ideal for you to be up at 3 in the morning and trading? If you're a night owl, yeah, but if you're a normal human being that doesn't like to stay up that late, then
Yeah.
you know London session is not your best session. Although euro and Aussie dollar and Japanese yen usually move in those sessions, you're gonna see that, those pairs also move in different sessions too, like the New York, right? So would New York be more suitable for you because it's more in the morning, but it's early morning. It's not like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, right? So I'd say figure out what time works best for you and figure out a schedule for yourself, right? So
Mhm.
schedule. I'd say also an important thing, schedule your sleep. Start with your sleep. So figure out a time that you're going to sleep at and figure out a time you're going to wake up at, right? And that's going to help you build a schedule for yourself and help you build discipline in sticking to that schedule, right? So focus on that. I'm going to look at something really quick and pop it onto my other screen just so. Damn, gold is fucked right now. Yeah, so you want to have trading times, right? Um, you want to have rules of psychology, and you want to have rules to trading. So what I mean by rules of psychology and rules to trading is no more than like a few rules, like maybe 5 to 10 rules on each of them, right? About how you manage yourself as a trader during trades and what you look for, like what kind of confluences or confirmations do you go for when trading. So some rules of psychology I can give you, I'll give you examples for both. Rules of psychology could be never ignore your plan, right? So like you have to really understand that when you create a plan, it's not just a plan. Like you got to pretend like it's a fucking law. It's the law for you, right? Because if you
Mhm.
don't take it seriously, you're going to get cocky and you're gonna fuck yourself over in the market. And trust me, I've done it so many times where I've lost so much money to the point where like you're just like, fuck, is this for me? Right? But it's those times that push you to become stronger and make you a better trader. So all in all, try to always follow your rules. That's one of the biggest thing, and that could be one of your rules of psychology. Always follow your rules, right?
Mhm.
So another psychology thing. Sorry, gold is going up another 20 pips. Holy fuck, man. 56 fucking crazy, bro. Need to take profits again. Okay. Um. Yeah. So that was a great trade. Fuck. Um. Another one is plan your trade. This is coming from my trading plan, so I'm telling you some of the ones that I have is never ignore your plan your trades, and trade your plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to
Okay.
fail,
Yeah.
right? Learn to cut your losses short without emotions. Be patient, be emotionless, and never take losses personally. Understand it's a game of probability and learn from losses. So those are my psychology rules that I have to follow, and they're not hard rules, but you'd be surprised how much you deteriorate from those or deter from those rules, like being patient or being emotionless. When you're in the market,
Mhm.
being patient is very tough sometimes because you think it's gonna move, but you don't know when to get in, or you don't know if you're gonna miss it, or you know what I'm saying? So being
Yeah,
patient is very hard, and that's something you have to take into consideration about you as a whole, as a person. You have to understand yourself before you can actually trade the markets very well. So the it's the skill of mastering you, like I said yesterday, right? Like you have to
yeah,
understand yourself 110% in order to fully trade very well. You cannot have any doubts of who you are as a person and whatnot. You have to know yourself 100%. Okay. So trading rules, some trading rules that I have is I only trade gold. So if I'm only trading gold, then I don't trade any other pairs, blah, blah, blah. But I trade GJ because I used to trade GJ first, then I moved into gold. So I'll always look at GJ, and sometimes I'll trade it,
mhm,
sometimes I won't. But for the most majority of the time, 99% of my trades are gold, right? So that's my rule, right? And I'm sticking to it for the most part, right? And another rule of trading is trade only when volume is in the market. Like I said, your sessions, New York session, Asian session, whatever. When there's volume, market moves. When there's no volume, market consolidates. So what do you want to do? You want to be in a moving market. You never want to be in a consolidating market, because at that time people don't make money in consolidating markets. The majority of people lose money in consolidating markets, and most people gain money in trending markets. Understood?
yeah. That
So
makes sense.
trade with volume and momentum. It's another one that I use. Same thing, same concept as the other one is when trade with volume in the market. Same thing, right? Trade with volume and momentum. What all that means is trade with your sessions and trade with other people who are trading in the same direction. So you see this trade on gold right here. If you look to your left over here, it's still going up, but I didn't take the trade over here, even though some
I think
people.
I think Notepad is actually covering it.
Oh wait,
I think
what?
it was,
Wait, what? Notepad?
yeah. Oh, hold on. No, never mind. We're good. We're good.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good. That's my stupid. I have so much stuff on my goddamn computer.
No worries, no worries.
Okay,
So yeah, fuck, what was I
so
saying?
you didn't take the trade at
Oh, yeah, right.
the.
So look, I took a trade up here, and for a lot of people, that's a riskier trade, right? That's like you already missed the trade, because a lot of people would be saying, "Oh, you got to enter here, you got to enter here, you got to enter over here at the lows of these level." But realistically, when you're in the market, you're not you're not looking at the the that picture. You're looking at the bigger picture of things. You're looking at, okay, if this consolidation right here breaks out of this structure, how am I going to capitalize on it? If it goes up or if it goes down, how am I going to capitalize it? And when am I going to capitalize on it? Right? So I could have capitalized it on this candlestick. I could have capitalized it on this candlestick. I could have capitalized it on any of these candlesticks that I highlighted right here. Right?
There's too
The
much. Like, yeah,
but the reason why I didn't is because we have this range that we're sitting in, where we have an order block with a lot of buyers and sellers sitting in this area. But what do we have over here? We have a resistance over here, but then we have clean traffic to your left. And on your 15-minute, there's not much of a resistance until you get up to here. So that's 20 pips, and that's okay. And then also after those 20 pips, you also have another resistance here and here, right? So I'm not really worried. We have good targets. We have three targets to aim for, and this could be like my first target as long as I bought in before the target actually hit, right? Which I did, right? My goal was to get in before we start breaking this high, but after we broke this, right? So I wanted to be anywhere within this range of when I was buying, right?
I see.
Reason being is because I want to wait for confirmation. Like if I didn't wait for this candlestick and this candlestick to go up, by all means, this candlestick could have easily went up to this wick right here and then just came back down crashing, and then
I see.
I could have been in the opposite position that I am now. But I waited and I waited and waited, and I waited for this trade since 6:30. 6:30, bro, and it just
Yeah, so
happened.
you're waiting for that resistance level to kind of.
I'm
Just
waiting for
break
something
in
to
your favor.
break and I'm looking for some sort of retest, but we didn't get the retest, so I said, fuck it, I'm gonna do an impulsive move and I'm gonna put my stops below the current 15-minute candle, which was this candle, because I saw that this 15-minute candle on the 5-minute was starting to break its own high right over here, right? On the previous
Mm-hmm.
15-minute high, right? This 15-minute high right here. And once you break that high, there's nowhere else to go but up, right? And
I see.
if you look left, you have your targets for bulls. You have your bull targets, right? So why wouldn't I want to take a buy there? And I did. I said, fuck it. Like, if my stop gets taken out, that means we're coming back into this range, and I don't want to be in this range, so I might as well I could even put my stops here, right? Instead of
Mm-hmm.
risking an extra half my stop loss, I can half it, reduce some risk, and now I won't even get into this area anymore, right? So now I've also what I've done is I've reduced my position and stuff like that to help my risk to reward become a little bit better. But don't worry about risk to reward and shit like that. Let's continue with this.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, trading times, schedule your sleep, rules of psychology, rules of trading. And uh, back testing and practice. So this is also an important thing in your trading plan is when are you going to take the time to back test, or what are you going to take the time to review or practice what you've done this week, right? So like usually like I have a rule where like every week try to do something, every weekend try to do something as the market is closed. So like on Fridays, update your fundamentals for the next upcoming week, see what news
Mm-hmm.
events are coming, right? And then also on Friday, note and review bond yields and news, or help anything to help me with gold, right? On Saturday, review all the trades that I took on this week, losses or wins, and analyze the proper trades and review them and see how you could do better by and just kind of ignore the dumb and impulsive trades that I made, because those are not going to help you. You know you made an impulsive dumb decision due to emotions, so just forget them and remember that don't let your emotions take over you. So like you have to get better with it over time, which is why you review your shit, right? It's just like school, like you review a test to realize what you did wrong, right? But then when you
Yep.
go and do it, it's either you do it wrong again or you do it right. So that's up to you. Like someone could keep making the same fucking mistake over and over and over. It's just because they're not learning though. They're not reviewing their mistakes. So it's always important to review your mistakes and take your L's as a positive thing. Don't take it as a negative thing. You know, like as much as it hurts to
See.
have a
Yeah.
loss, losses are good for you, especially as a beginner. Losses are very good for you. So like don't think just because your account is negative $500 on a $2,000 account means you're a shitty trader. No, it just means something is wrong with your risk management and with your entries. One of those, or your emotions. It's one of those three, right? And it's a guarantee
Mm.
there's a flaw in one of them. I can guarantee you it, right? There's no other flaw. The market's not trying to fucking trick you. The market's not trying to, do nothing to go against you, like none of that bullshit. It's simply doing its thing, and whether you can adapt to the market or not, that's up to you, and that's up to your emotions and your knowledge, right? So I would say, yeah, back test and practice. Create a little schedule on Friday, Saturday, Sunday to have certain things to do on those days, whether it's reviewing your trades, prepping for the next week. On Sundays, maybe you can back test or something. You can do a weekly analysis every Sunday. That's what I try to do, like a weekly analysis of like, what happened last week, what happens this week, what's going to happen this week, how news is going to affect gold, maybe the mistakes that I made last week that I'm not going to make this week, identify structure from the higher time frames to the lower time frames, what is driving gold fundamentally in terms of like the economy and the US dollar and stuff like that. And then just backtest gold whenever you feel. I'd say backtest once every 2 weeks or so, or once every week if you can. And what I mean by
Mm-hmm.
backtesting is not just like, bro, so look, I can go on here. I can press the replay button. I can go here, and then I can start saying, okay, you know what? I want to sell here. I want to put my stop loss here. I want to put this here, and then we're just gonna press play, and we're gonna see how it goes. Oh, cool, great. I won the trade. Great, great, great. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so that trade is done. I'm amazing, and let's move on. Like, no, that's not how you backtest. What I mean by backtesting is like legit trade as if you like backtest as if you were trading. When you're backtesting a whole day or a whole week should take you like an hour and a half. So if you're trading one whole week on a backtesting session, so from this day, May 17th to May 24th, or the next Monday, whatever it is, May 24th, 7 days, whatever, we'll give it 7 days. If it takes you less than an hour to backtest 7 days of data, you're not doing it right, in my opinion. Due to the fact
Less
that,
than an hour.
yeah, if you're doing less than an hour, that means you're skimming through, you're not taking notes, you're not properly analyzing, you're just bullshitting your way through just to say
Mm-hmm.
that you backtested, right? What I mean by backtesting is pick the session that you're going to trade. If you wake up at 6:30, wake up at 6:30, start your backtesting at 6:30, right? So right here, you would start your backtesting right here, and we're going to do that right now. I'm going to show you how to backtest. So 6:30, I wake up 6:30. This is what I would see on a 6:30 chart on Bitcoin, right? And if this was my session, what am I gonna do? Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna identify some things for myself, right? I'm gonna draw out some key levels for myself so I understand what I'm working with. Now I have some sort of structure, and then I'm gonna go into like higher time frame or something like that, and just view if this is some sort of range that we're sitting in, right? But on the 4 hour, it seems like we kind of just dipped down already, blah blah blah. Like we're making this analysis and this and we're kind of building a story for ourselves, right? Like I'm creating this trend, so kind of we broke this trend just now during the London session, right? So we kind of boosted our gains for the day early on, but as New York session starts to come, we're starting to see a rejection at this level of 45,550, right? So that what does that tell me is that since we can't break above here, the only way we're gonna look to go above is if we start to break above here, like how we did on gold, right? See how like we had this consolidation,
Yeah.
we broke above. We're waiting for the same thing. We're waiting for a break above to continue to make a move up to higher levels, right? But if that's not going to happen, what else is going to happen? If you don't go up, where else are you going to go? You're going to go sideways or you're going to go down. There's only two other options, no matter what, right? So if that's the case, how am I going to backtest this? Well, we're going to play it out. We're going to see what happens the next candlesticks. Okay, cool. The thing about backtesting with this platform specifically is that you're going to get candles that form instantly. Candles don't form instantly. Candles form over time, like how these ones are ticking up slowly, ticking down slowly, ticking
Mm-hmm.
up slowly. That's what I don't like about this backtester. So I use a different backtester that gives me the option to see the ticks slowly being made. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when you're backtesting, I would recommend actually buying a backtester if you get serious with it later down the road. But all in all, try your best to backtest. It's hard to do it with this one because candlesticks they don't form the way you want them to. They just form instantly. Like if you look at this, if I increase the speed, you don't see any ticks. You just see the candlesticks being formed, right? You don't see any
Yeah.
um,
It's just
it just
yeah.
simply goes up or it goes down or goes up. So you have no chance. So if you miss a trade during your back test, you miss your trade fully, kind of thing, you know? Like, so it's hard like that. And I don't want you to beat yourself up over that. But what I do want you to do is actually take the time to back test properly. Don't rush back testing. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay.
I see.
So like
Yeah.
take it very seriously as if you know, it's a job or some shit. Okay.
Serious stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, just take it seriously. Like, you know, fuck, where was that thing that I had written down? So on the 4 hour or something? Alright, whatever. Um, I think the last thing on my trading plan, I mean, not the last thing, but I have a few more things. So the last thing I had was kind of have like things to do on the weekend, right? Like schedule yourself practice, back test, right? The next thing I would say to have in a trading plan is um, details. And what I mean by details is like account size, management side, risk side, everything, right? And I'm gonna show you a quick example of what I do, so maybe you can get a gist of how you want to do yours, right? So I'm gonna change my window to this, and now you see over here, this is sort of like details, right? Like you can put $2,000, say if you're starting off, right? And you have a risk management side of things. So how are you gonna manage your risk? Are you gonna take 1%? Are you gonna take 2%? And what I mean by 1 to 2% is 1% on risky trades, 2% on okay normal trades, right? So that gives you leeway to say, you know what, instead of, if you're not confident in a trade, but you have a good feeling, use 1% trade instead of 2%. So you're not risking a lot more of your capital. You're preserving capital, but you're also having the ability to possibly make a profit out of it too, right? But if it goes
Yeah.
south, you're not losing as much as you normally would, which is good for you, which means you're risk managing. Although it doesn't seem like you won, you technically won in a way because you didn't lose 2%. You only lost 1%, right? So that's a very big factor in terms of managing your account and keeping your account alive. Also, a good thing to have is how many trades you do daily, how many trades you have weekly. This doesn't matter as much. I would say focus more on the daily trades, how many trades you put in daily. So, like max, you can only have 2 trades. If you have one win, you're allowed to take one more win. I mean, one more entry. But if you have one loss, you should just stop at the loss or something like that. Like rules like that are very important. Same thing with max daily percent loss. How much are you willing to lose every day, no matter what? And I'm risking 2%, but my daily loss is 2%. That doesn't mean that if I take one trade and I lose the whole trade, I can't trade anymore. No, but it's because I manage my risk during the trade to not make it a full 2% loss. So if I'm going in drawdown in this gold trade that I have, I'm not going to lose my full 2%, 100%. There's no way. If I lose my full 2% on my account, that's my mistake and my stupidity for not closing half the position or whatnot just to reduce some risk so that my loss isn't as big as my winners, right? You want your winners to be big, your losses to be small, of course. Everybody wants that. But in order to do it, you need to follow certain rules, which is your risk management rules, right? So if you have a 3% loss, now you're digging into bigger territory for losses. And like that's it's a little iffy, but whatever. Anyways, you can figure out your daily loss. You're gonna have to go through like experimenting on what you want to do and what feels best for you and stuff like that. But yeah, find out how many losses you want to take, how many losses you're okay with taking a day, how many max wins you want to take a day, max percentage are you okay with? Like, um, if you hit your daily goal, you should stop trading. If you hit your weekly goal, you should stop trading that week. You know what I'm saying? So these certain things are like milestones for you throughout every week and every day. And if you hit them, you don't continue trying to build more. You wait for the next week or you wait for the next day, the next opportunity, right? Because remember, trading is an exhausting business, right? You get tired, you drain yourself, you do a lot of work prepping and understanding and using your brain and stuff like that. So once you hit 1 to 3% on your daily goal, even if it's $50 and that's your goal throughout the whole day, stop trading. You don't need to make 150. You don't need to make 2,000. Like that will come with the compounding of your account. But as long as you stay disciplined to your goals and your percentage gains, everything will add up. Like remember, like on a calculator, if you press 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, it's gonna add up to 100 one day if you just press it 100 times. You get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
the same thing as trading. If you do trading, if you get 1% every day in trading, it's gonna add up to 100% in 100 days, or more or less. Some days you make more than 1%. Some days you make less than 1%. Some days you lose a percent. So it really depends on how you manage yourself, and that's a very important, very, very important factor. Another management thing that you need to have is understanding what's your risk to reward that you're looking for on a trade minimum. I look for a 1-to-1 minimum, but I look for 1-to-3s, one to like right now my gold trade is like a 1-to-4.2. Currently I'm at a 1-to-3. I'm fully done with this trade basically. So I don't need to
Mhm.
worry about it anymore. I don't need to do anything. I just need to chill and let it run because I have a runner and it's doing its thing. Like I already took profits 3 times and now I'm just letting my runner go to the target, and if it hits the target, great. If it doesn't, great. I don't care, Like, and that's how you should trade. You shouldn't watch the chart like it's gonna do something magical and you're gonna get more money out of it. Like no, it's I know how much money I'm gonna get out of it if it goes up, and if it goes down, I don't give a shit. I already made money, right? That's the mentality you kind of have to have. And you have to also
Mhm.
know how big do you want your stop losses. This is going to be determined mainly on the type of trader you are, whether you're a swing trader, whether you're a scalper, whether you're an intraday trader, whether you're a position trader. That's going to determine how big your stop losses are, right? Because as a scalper, you're going to be scalping with 10 to 20 pips on stop losses, but as an intraday trader, you could be using 50 pips or 40 pips on stop losses, but as a swing trader, you could be using 70 pips or 80 pips on a stop loss, or a 50, or like it can keep going higher the longer term position trader you are, right? So if you're an aggressive person, or if you're a very aggressive person and very like you want to go go go, scalping is probably the way to go. If you're more of a person who's laid back and willing to take a few hours every day and let the trade run throughout the whole day, an intraday trader is for you. If you're okay with letting positions run throughout a whole 3 days or 4 days, then you're a swing trader. If you're okay with letting positions run anywhere from a week to a month, then you're more of a position trader. I would say anywhere from a month or higher actually is more position trading, but yeah, a week is still pretty long, right? So
Yeah.
identify what you want to do. If you want to do scalping, great, do scalping. Just remember that there's none of it doesn't matter what you do. Whether you're a scalper, whether you're a fucking intraday trader, it doesn't matter. All right? It's just to understand what you're focusing on and how you're going to focus on it, right? Because an intraday trader can't trade the same way as a scalper. You can with price action, but eternally there's different things that they both look for, i.e., they both look for different time frames. That's an example,
Mhm.
right? You're on an intraday trader, you're not looking at 1 minute, 5 minute. You're looking at hourly, you're looking at the 30 minute, 15 minute, daily, 4 hour, right? And it's good to know what kind of time frames you're looking for. What are your so right here you see that I have these main time frame things. This is also another important part. Identify sort of like your time frames that you want to use and what they're used for, right? So higher HTF is higher time frame, LTF lower time frame, ETF entry time frame, right? Figure this shit out for yourself and use it. Over here, don't worry about indicators and stuff like that. If I can get you to not use any indicators and just use your brain, that would be the best thing for you, right?
Mhm.
You don't need
Okay.
indicators. Like indicators come after you learn, right? And that's what I like to focus on. Like I don't like to start with indicators and then learn with the indicators. I like you to learn and then add indicators to help your analysis and confirm your analysis. Like when you're doing um, an analysis, you should have zero indicators on. But after you finish your analysis and after you marked up your chart, then you put the indicators on and see what they're telling you. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't be on first, and then you're basing your decisions off of the indicators and you're basing your analysis off the indicators because that's what's going to fuck you up. You
Mhm.
want to see pure price action, pure price points, and literally just analyze off those. Okay? I forgot to explain TP. TP is pretty simple. This is something. This is what you were asking about, right? Like how to
Yeah.
manage yourself. Yeah. So stop loss is basically what kind of trader you are. TP, that depends on your comfort level, right? So TP1, TP3, TP2. It doesn't. You can call it fucking pizza peppers and acorns. Like it doesn't fucking matter what it's called, right? It in terms of pips, you should have your first take profit. You should always have, well, this is how I do it because I'm a scalper. I choose to close my position half or 80% at 10 pips,
Yeah.
at always 10 pips. So once my trade hits
Oh
10
yeah.
pips, I take profit, which is also, remember, when you take profit, you're reducing your risk, right? Because you're closing half the position. So any money on the table is now half or more than half. So that means if it goes into my stop loss or it goes into drawdown, which you know what drawdown is?
Um, is that simply just like when it goes like the other way,
Yeah, when it goes
when you're
below your
not like
entry. When it
expected?
goes,
Yeah.
yeah, so say if you're buying, if it goes below your entry, then
Yeah.
it's drawdown, right? So
Okay.
yeah, if and even if it does go into drawdown, I already closed 50% in profits. I made money, so now I'm okay, right? So even at 10 pips, 10 pips a day, you'd be surprised what you can make with 10 pips a day. All right? So don't think that
Hmm.
getting more pips is better. Trust me, getting more pips is actually harder.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder, it's a lot more time consuming because you have to wait, and it's not as instant gratification. With 10 pips, it's simple, it's clean, and it's less stress. Instead of trying to reach 80 pips, have that cool, oh yo, bro, I hit 1,000 pips this week. Like, fuck off, I don't give a shit. Bro, like you can make 1,000 pips and still be broke as fuck, right? Doesn't
Hmm.
matter about how many fucking pips you make. It just matters about um how you're making your money, how you're managing your money, how you like, like the more important things, the little nitty-gritty details that a lot of people oversee a lot of the times. So don't worry about TP2, TP3. TP2, TP3 is never a specific amount of pips. Let me just tell you that right now. So in this case, let me switch my screen back to trading view. In this case, right over here, I'm going to show you on the 30-minute time frame. So my entry was right here, right? 20 pips is here. Do you think I was like, oh, at 20 pips, I'm gonna 100%. This is definitely gonna be my target. What if this structure was not here? What if there was nothing here, and I just said 20 pips is my target? No, your targets are your previous levels of resistance or pivotal points in the market, right? That's where you're going to be targeting because these are areas for bulls to target. If you go on a higher time frame, like if you go on the weekly, these areas right here, this is a pivotal high, this is a pivotal high, this is a pivotal high. These are all areas for targets for bulls. You know what I mean by bulls, right? Like buyers?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so these are all targets for bulls. But if you look on the flip side, what are the targets for sellers? Targets are here, here, you have something here, here. You know what I'm saying? But this is on a
Horizontal.
week this is on a weekly time frame. But even you could do it on any time frame. You could do it on a 30-minute time frame. Look, right here, right? So if we go selling, where is our first target? Our first target's right here because if we're selling, we're going to sell down here and our targets, we're going to hit a support right around this area, right? So we know that that's a good target. Next target, where's your next target? You have this target right here because if you drop down, you're going to have a pullback and then you're going to continue down. But where's the next support at that pushed prices up? Right here. So we have here, here, and then where's your next target? Right here. Boom, right here. And you have maybe a little bit something here or maybe something here, right? And you have to be wary of all these areas. But now you're kind of like, which one do I go to? Which one is most valid? Which one is going to get me the most pips? Well, realistically, they're all going to give you a certain amount of pips. They're all going to give you like moves. It's just, are you going to capitalize on every single one of them? Yes, maybe no, right? Like you can't choose the ones that you're going to capitalize on because maybe at the time that you wake up, it's not even close to that anymore, or it's not even going in that direction anymore, right? So like you got
Mm.
to adapt to the market, man. You got to really adapt and you really got to you got to pay attention to what it's telling you and like use the market. If there's anything I could tell you is look left, always look left. All right. So like whenever you're trading, if you have a question that you don't know, like say this is all I saw in the market, right? And I'm like, fuck, where is it gonna go? Well, okay, if it goes up, look left. Okay, well, left. Okay, now, okay, I'm looking left here. All right, I see something. Right? You see this, right? And this is a high in the market. Okay, well, if I look left, now what else do I do when I look left? Well, you plot the fucking support or resistance, right? Now you have an indication of where it's going to go, right? And then you look, how many pips is this 25 pip range? Okay, cool. You know what? That's not a bad range. You know, I like to trade in a 25 to 35 pip range. Say if that's what you say to yourself. You know, like, okay, you know, 25 pips I could do. Even if it was 20 pips, it wouldn't be bad. I'll look for an entry somewhere around there. And now you're starting to build a decision. You know what I'm saying? You're starting to build this
Listen,
confidence for yourself to say that, you know what? If it goes up, I have a plan. And this is what I mean planning. Planning is important, right? You can't just go in there and be like, "Oh, I see it 6:30 in the morning. All right, cool. If it's 6:30 in the morning, this is the candle, so this is all we see. All right, the bearish candle right here. You know what? Fuck it. Let's continue to sell." Well, if you sell just based off what you saw right here, you'd be in a shit show. You get what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying
mhm.
right here? You'd be in a shit show. So this is why it's super important to identify looking left and like on both sides of things, not just looking left for buyers, but looking left for buyers and looking left for sellers. So if I know I'm more in a bullish bias, I'm going to favor buys, of course, because the higher time frames are telling me that this pair has been pushing up on the weekly or in the 4 hour for quite some time. So what does that mean on lower time frames? It's probably going to move up. But don't get that fucked up because lower time frames also move down as well as they move up, but it's just overall it's going to move up in the future. And whether that future is at 9 o'clock or whether that future is tomorrow at 9 o'clock or what time doesn't matter, right?
Mhm.
It's going to move, right? And you gotta wait. You're just sitting there, all right? So yeah, this thing is fucking flying. Holy shit, that was a that was a crazy trade, man. Yeah, I'm out of that trade though. I hit take profit. My take profit was here actually. Okay, so I'm done trading for the day. Let me just stop the live. Actually, I'll keep live streaming just since I'm teaching you. All right.
Mhm.
Um, went through everything. What else do I need to go through? Strategy. Yeah, your strategy will come. First things first is you gotta learn before you make a strategy, so don't worry about a strategy. Um, yeah, I mean, I would also say make a section on your trading plan of how you're going to trade trending markets and how you're going to trade ranging markets. Or if you're going to trade ranging markets, how are you going to trade them? You know, so um, I haven't really completed that part of my trading plan. I kind of just added that recently. I was just like, I'll think about doing it, but like majority of the time I don't trade trending. I mean, I don't trade consolidating markets like this. I trade trending markets like this. So like just kind of have some rules for yourself. Like, oh, if it's a trending market, make sure to um, buy after the candle breaks above a certain resistance area, so I know that it's a clean area. Or if it broke above that, wait for the retest on that area before you continue up. You know what I'm saying? Like certain things like that. Obviously, everything is not going to be picture perfect on the charts. Some people are going to say, "Oh, your candlesticks are going to like it's gonna look so like it's gonna look like this, right? But realistically, the fucking chart looks like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's not picture perfect straight up line. It's more or less like that, and you gotta identify what the fuck's going on in these lower time frames to see that. Oh, okay. You know what? this is going up. Oh, what? This is going down. Oh, wait, we broke out. Oh, we're continuing up on the higher time frames. You know what I'm saying? So all of this is correlated within each other. It's just you just gotta learn. So don't worry about that for now, I guess. I think everything in the trading plan is more or less just to set yourself up to have some sort of guidelines. Nothing like it's rules that you want to follow. It's things you want to follow, but also like um, you're gonna use more common knowledge. You're not even gonna be looking at your trading plan. Your trading plan is just gonna be there so that you remember. If you need to look back at it, you can always look back at it, right? It's not going to be something you're going to be looking at every single day right before you trade, and you're going to be like, oh, okay, great. Now I'm gonna fucking this is how I'm gonna do it. Blah 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 blah. Like you're gonna follow everything bit by bit by bit, and if something isn't there, like it's not that strict. Like besides your
Yeah.
rules are the only strict thing, but everything else is like you gotta adapt. You gotta adapt with it as you're trading, right? And like be flexible with your rules.
I see.
So, um, what did you want to learn? That's the question I had for you. What do you want to learn? Like, what's something that interests you, and what's something that you really just want to get into right now and learn more about, and just be like, all right, like let's get started. Like,
Hmm. Okay. So I know that you mentioned before, and I remember that there's like multiple different types of traders, i.e., intraday swing trading,
yeah, yeah,
scalping.
yep.
Um, at the moment, I'm not quite sure which of those would suit me best. Obviously, I haven't really done much, I guess, real trading yet, so it's hard to say. Um,
So you want to identify yourself.
Generally, yeah. Is there a way to identify
Okay, so
without, but
we can see this first. So the first thing I'm gonna ask you is like, how is your life planned out right now? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? How is your scheduling on a day-to-day basis? Right?
mhm.
That's the first thing to figure out, right? So you tell me, like, when do you wake up? Like, what times do you like waking up? Do you like being an early riser? Do you like being a night bird? Do you know, like a night owl? Like, what do you want?
I hmm.
Because
Well, you
personally,
see,
I like waking up early as fuck to get my day started. And when I start my day productive, the rest of my day becomes productive, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Right? So I like to set the
Uh,
tone for the day in the morning by trading. So I think trading in the morning is a great way to set the tone. It's fun, it's informative. You know, you learn in the morning, and you're not, and you can tell people, yeah, I wake up at fucking 6:30. I trade every fucking day. Like, yeah, I do it.
yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to
I
say.
discipline myself to do it, and like not a lot of you dumbasses will do it because y'all want to sleep in until fucking 12. Now I look at people who sleep in until 12, like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, you guys sleep in way too much. You guys
Yeah,
sleep
we
for like
prefer to
13
wake up.
hours, man. Like,
Yeah,
s-
early would be like my go-to, like
yeah.
now at least. Like before, I used to remember saying before I used to sleep in a long time,
Trust me, I think we all
but
did
I
at
hate
one
it.
point, man. At one point
Yeah,
in our lives, we all slept. I slept until 2 sometimes before. So like, I don't blame you, but
like
quickly realized these things that it's not good for you, you
like
know?
my dream would be to like live in a nice, nice warm state or country and wake up at like 5, 6 a.m.
Yeah, yeah,
every day.
yeah, 100%.
That's like
I
my
want that too.
dream.
I want that too, man. Wake up at 5, 6, get your day started, motivated and
Yeah.
shit. So like, in order to do that, you got to build habits now, man. I'm telling you, like, you got to build habits now because your habits in
Mhm.
high school are what's lingering on now. If you've ever realized or thought to yourself one on one, like, how did I act in high school? How was I with homework? Was I procrastinating? Stuff like that. Everything lingers on till now. Like, your same habits that you had and stuff like that are lingering on
All points
here.
back. Yeah.
You know, it all points back to high school and college and all that, right? So you need to change the way you're living. You need to change the way your lifestyle is in order for yourself to improve, right? And like it's simple shit you're gonna hear from so many people, but it's like, are you gonna do it? You know, it's like, are you gonna hold yourself accountable? Like, shit doesn't
It's like
just
almost
happen, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's like the answer is too simple.
yeah,
I think.
it's there. The answer's fucking there for you, but like, are you like, is someone gonna have to feed it to you, or are you gonna have to reach for it yourself? You know what I'm saying? That's life
Hmm.
too, bro. That's not just like trading or anything like that. Like trading can make your life a fucking very luxury place if you do it well and if you do it smart and if you do it like right. Like you progressively get better over years. You don't try to get better in 6 months. Like you can do amazing in 6 months, but you don't try for that. You try for long-term progression. You don't try for instant gratification. And if you do that, it's the same thing as habits. Habits don't just build themselves. It's not instant gratification, but it's the long-term progression that helps you build and understand that, over the span of doing something 100 times in 100 days, you're gonna get better at it and it's gonna become easier. No matter what you do, no matter how you do it, it's just the way it is, right? So when you think about it like that, if you can just sleep every day at a certain time and wake up at a certain time, you're already ahead of the world. You're already ahead of so many people that can't even just get up at a certain time, right? Now what's your next step? Your next step is to make your fucking bed. Like the simple shit. Not a lot of people make their bed, but bro, like making your bed is like a discipline thing. Like, are you that lazy to not make your bed? Like, I challenge you to do this for like 20 days. Whenever you want to say no to something, or whenever you want to say like, yeah, okay, I'll do it later or something, or like, nah, I won't do it. Do the opposite. So like, if you're not gonna make your bed that day, be like, nah, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. I gotta do it. But like, if you're not gonna go work out that day, and you're telling yourself, nah, I shouldn't go work out. You know what I mean? Like, that shit's gonna change the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act, the way you speak, all that shit. But anyways, um, in terms of what kind of trader you want to become, from what it's like, are you a fast-paced kind of person? Do you like to be like fast-paced, or do you like to take it slow, or what?
You see, that's the thing. Like, generally, I'm a pretty patient guy, but I do like the idea of, right now at least, I do like the idea of not having um positions open for a very long time.
Okay,
If that makes any sense.
so
At like at the moment, yeah.
I think personally,
It's-
I would start off as an intraday trader, scalper. Reason being is because, first off, swing trading takes a large capital,
Mhm.
because you also have to remember you're holding positions for a long time, which then leads you to use your margin in your account, which then leads you to have less money in your account if you were to trade, right? So if you're swing trading, remember that if you try to intraday trade while you're swing trading, your account is minimized due to the fact that you're holding a position, and you're also going to have rollover fees and swap fees, which is basically like over 24-hour fee kind of thing, so that's
Mm.
why swing trading and investing and stuff like that, like investing is what they call long-term wealth, right? So when you hear someone say, yeah, I'm investing in something, usually it would mean that they're investing it long term, not short term, but
Yeah.
most people don't know that. um, so when you're trading, I think you would do best on an intraday level, just because intraday doesn't mean you have to hold a position for 6 hours. It can mean you have to hold a position for an hour or 2 hours,
Plus, I don't mind like taking small profits,
like how I was doing.
like yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's
I,
why it's not
I don't.
you're never going to become specifically an intraday trader or a swing trader or a scalper, right? Like, to me, I'm not a scalper or an intraday trader. I'm both. Like, I guess you can call me a little bit of a hybrid, right? Because a scalper is someone who uses the 1 minute and 5 minute time frame, right? And takes positions and holds them for no longer than like an hour, 30 minutes, right? I did
Mhm.
that. I held it for an hour. That makes me a scalper. But some of my positions, sometimes they take 2 hours, 3 hours to run on and continue. Does that still make me? Does that not make me a scalper though? I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just the way you think about it, right? Like a scalper doesn't have to be a fucking 30-minute hour, you know, it could be 3 hours. It's just that you took your position on a lower time frame, right? The intraday trader doesn't need to hold a position for 6 hours. They can hold it for an hour. But does that mean they're a scalper? No, it just means that that trade went that way really fast, right?
Hmm.
So don't think about it like, oh, a scalper's me, a intraday trader is this. Just think about it like, bro, you are you, and you're just trying to get in the market and get out the market. You don't need to put a title on it or anything like that. It's just a name about like for all like people that just want to ask, oh, how do you trade? Oh, you scalp? Oh, you're a scalper? Oh, nice, nice, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a
Yeah.
title, bro. It's stupid. It doesn't matter, right? Like you, the way I see it is just like I get in the market on lower time frames. I manage on lower time frames. I look at the market on like medium term time frames, and I overlook the market on the 4 hour and daily. That's what an intraday trader does. So that's where I guess I'm categorized, right? Once you start figuring out how you analyze, then you're going to start to realize, okay, this is how I analyze. So where does that categorize me? You don't put yourself
Like
in a category. The category chooses you as you learn how to
like
trade.
yeah. And I've naturally looked at like shorter time frames, like just sort of
So like
that's
what
just
kind of
something
time
that I
frames do you
prefer.
like? What kind of time frames do you
I
like?
like I like 15 and 5
Okay, so let me tell you a little difference about every time frame right now. So
and
you probably know
yeah.
this already, but your monthly time frame is like your overall outlook. But within your monthly time frame, you're going to have four candlesticks, which are your weekly candlesticks, right? These candlesticks are I mean, in general, these are very strong candlesticks. Same with the daily, they're very strong candlesticks. So this is where you want to make most of your decisions on like how the market is trending. Same with the 4 hour. 4 hour is relative to the daily. You just have to see it in a broad scheme of things. So when you see it in a broad scheme of things, you go to the daily. But when you want a little bit more detail on what's happening in between the day, then you go in the 4 hour. That's how I see it. 2 hour, not really necessary. I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend 1 hour, 4 hours. So if you have your trading view right now, I would say just put your 5 minute, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour daily, and then weekly, monthly. Right? These are the time frames that you're only really going to need. You're not going to be using the weekly, monthly, and daily much. You're going to be using those for overall direction. You're going to be using your 4 hour mainly. Like I'm just going to teach you how I trade, so you can kind of copy and base it off that, and then you can start going on and making your own rules as you start to learn more by yourself, right? And that's what most people are going to do.
Okay.
It's like, but I'll teach you the way of how I identify certain support and resistance areas, just so you can get a better understanding of them. And then I'm going to test you on them. I'm going to get you to go through the charts, and then I'm going to tell you, hey, you can make your support a little bit better here, a little bit better there, you know, like stuff like that. So, um, yeah, so put those time frames on. You don't need to go to the 1 minute. I go to the 1 minute when I'm on the 5 minute. So like if I get to the 5 minute, like how I did on this trade, sometimes if I was still in this trade and I'm still looking for, it to continue or just to see if it's going to reverse, I'll go on the 1 minute to give me a better indication of what's going on the 5 minute, right? So the
Hmm.
1 minute basically explains your 5 minute. The 5 minute basically explains your 15 minute. The 15 minute kind of explains your 1 hour and 30 minute, right? And so on, right? I don't need to babysit this thing for you. You already know what I mean,
Yeah.
right? So in terms of that, I think that you are probably going to do best in a more of like a scalping position and a intraday position, just because you like the 5 minute, 15 minute. You said.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
those are my
5 minute, 15 minute aren't bad time frames. The rule of thumb I like to go with is make sure that when you have time frames, your time frames are three times the amount of the next time frame. So 5 times 3 is 15. 15 times 3, 45, right? So in 30 minutes to an hour, right? That's the next time frame you want to go for. If you're going, um, actually it should be four, not three. It should be 4 times 4. 1 hour to 4 hour, it should be four, and then 4 hour to daily. You get it, right? So there's like slight increments in between. Like sometimes having a 15-minute and 30-minute are basically kind of useless. You should have one or the other. But like same thing as the 1 hour and the 2 hour. They're basically useless, but you should have one or the other. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think 5 minute, 15-minute, and if you're really looking for a higher time frame, the 4 hour is all you really need. So 5, 15, and the
4 hours.
4 hour,
Yeah.
right? I would put 5, 15, 1 hour, and 4 hour. And that's all. And then you can add the daily and weekly and monthly just cuz. But other than that, your entry time frames would probably be 5 minute, 15-minute. 15-minute is probably more reliable, so you want to stick with 15-minute entries, 5 minute managing your trade. Your 1 hour is kind of getting an overlook on the 15-minute time frame, and your 4 hour is getting the big picture of where significant levels are in the market, right? Your daily is
Okay,
letting
so
you, yeah, each time
five
frame tells you a little bit of different story.
each trade. 15 is like an entry. Okay,
Start
I
to make a
see.
little bit more sense.
I think so. Yeah.
Right? Like just don't overcomplicate it though. Don't go into like 15-minute, 30-minute, 45-minute, and then you have an hourly chart and then a 2 hour and a 3 hour chart. You know what I'm saying? Like don't get it overcomplicated. Like only use what you need to use. I'm telling you this. Every time frame is useful, but it's how you use your time frames, right? Like I don't use my 1 minute. I just look at it and I try to identify what's happening on lower time frames so that I have a better understanding of what's going on the higher time frames. Because 1 minute is multiplied 5 times. Like 5 minute is a 5 times smaller or larger than your 1 minute time frame. So
Mm.
with that being said, I can really dig into the 5 minute time frame and see what's the nitty gritty details. Like I wouldn't be able to enter on a 5 minute time frame, but I would be able to enter this trade on a 1 minute time frame because I saw that this broke, but on the 5 minute it just would probably look like a wick, right? But there's like little things you'll start to see on the 1 minute before you see on the higher time frames. And when prices reverse from inside out. And what I mean by that is they reverse from lower time frame to higher time frames. So they start
Mhm.
when a price is trending, it starts on the lower time frame and then it reverses on the lower time frame. And then after you start to see it on the 5 minute, then you start to see it on the 15-minute, and then you start to see it on the 30-minute where it starts to get bigger, and the trend is fully reversed on the 1 hour. You know what I'm saying? So it'll start to look like this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So like you'll start to see the trend reverse and you'll be like, oh, that's the reversal. And then that's where higher time frame traders are like, okay, now we can look for sells, blah blah blah. That's why with higher time frame trading it takes a lot more time because things take time to develop. So if you're looking for quick moves, intraday trading and scalping is probably the way for you. So but yeah, did you kind of understand who you are now in a sense, like what you're probably more likely to go with?
Probably more likely to go with the scalping
Yeah.
intraday.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah, most likely. And that's what a lot of people go for because it also builds like a routine. Like every day you have to get up and do it. Um, it's not like a swing trader. You don't have to look at the charts every day. Like you have to only manage your trade once or twice or 3 times a week, and that's all the time you have to look at the chart. Like I don't find that fun. If I want to learn something, I'm going to learn it like full on. And I think scalping and intraday trading helps you learn quick because you're always on it. But remind you, like too much chart time is also bad for you, right? So you don't want to be on the charts for more than like 4 hours a day, right? Because then you're gonna start to get like paralysis, and you're gonna start being like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck? Like I don't know what I'm looking at." You're just gonna get confused. You're gonna get frustrated. You're just gonna get antsy, and that's not what you want. So try to only be on here for the times that you're trading, and while you're trading, do some educational work so you're not over analyzing too much throughout the day. Like maybe you can start in the morning and then later at night you can continue, but don't do it for like 8 hour sessions straight, like you're just gonna burn out and it's just not gonna be fun. So
But yeah, I was gonna ask about that, like multiple sessions.
What about it?
like day and night sessions, I guess. Some people might prefer trading
And
like
that,
twice.
yeah, you
But
can. You should technically stick to one session one time and stick to
yeah.
that, because then you're going to start digging into like sleep habit disruptions, not getting enough proper
Hmm.
sleep, not making rational decisions. Remember, trading, I'm going to emphasize this a lot, but like trading is simple. It's just that we make it completely difficult. And the reason why we make it difficult is because of what you just asked. What if we can trade multiple sessions and make more money? Well, why would you want to trade multiple sessions and try to make more money when you already made money the first session? And what if that second session is only now going to make you lose money? And then you wake up
Yeah.
again and then you have a bad session again. So now you lost two times the amount of money when realistically you had profits in the morning at your first session, and you could have just waited for the next morning. And if you lost that next morning, then you would have been at break even instead of at a loss. See what I'm saying? Where it can compound really easily.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like your losses can compound on you very quickly, but so can your wins. I'm not saying that you can't do both sessions, but I'm also going to say that you're going to burn out and you're going to get tired. And don't think that just because, like, everybody has a phase in Forex where you just want to learn everything, right? But you have to also understand that like you can't learn everything right away. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes experience. It takes market time. Like I don't fucking just hop onto the chart and be like, "All right, I'm going to buy this," and fucking all of a sudden it goes up. Like no, like I wait for hours sometimes for a trade to develop. And the reason why I know it's developing is because I start to see momentum being put into the market and stuff like that. And it's just like it's intuition at the same time. Like certain people won't see it, but I will see it because I've traded and I've learned and I understood. But if you start trading different sessions and different pairs and all that stuff, remember, different sessions move differently, right? A New York session is the most volatile session. So what does that mean for the London session? If New York is the most volatile, London is the second most volatile. But does that mean a runner who runs a mile in 5 minutes is like the second place runner who runs it in 5 minutes and 30 seconds? No, that guy's 30 seconds faster than the other guy. So the same concept
Mhm.
here is that this session is more volatile than the other session, meaning that the trades that you're taking on this session, you're going to be used to it. But if then you go to the London session and you start trading London, you're not going to be used to the volume. You're going to be like, what is the volume? I'm kind of confused. When are the times that it spikes? When does volume come in? When, you're going to start confusing yourself. So that's why I say focus on one session. Master one thing at a time, right? Focus on one
I see.
session,
Yeah.
focus on one pair. Once you master that pair, like there's no reason for you to be flipping through 16 different pairs if you don't even know what the fuck you're looking for on any of those pairs. You know what I'm saying? So you
Yeah.
might
Yeah.
as you might as well fucking stick on one pair, hone in onto it, understand it, learn it, fucking master it, figure some shit out with it, and build something for yourself first. And if you don't like it later down the road, then fuck it, move on, go to the next pair, and then disregard that pair. But remember, that was the pair you always started with, and if all fails, you can always come back to it because you know it so well. Like every
It's
pair
true.
moves
Yeah.
differently, so like why not have that one pair that you're very comfortable with in case all goes wrong, or in case you just don't feel like trading gold or something, you can always go back to Euro USD or some shit, like you just know that's my nigga, like I got that in the
Hmm.
bag. If I need money, I'm just gonna go to Euro USD, or I'm gonna go to GA or something, like it's always important to master that because a lot of people think that flipping through different charts and shit like that is good. I mean, it's great. If you can do it, great. But you need a lot of fundamental background. You need to know what's happening in every single country, not just Euro and the US. You need to know if you're flipping through 16 different pairs. Remember, it's not just the Euro and the US now that you're looking at. It's also the pound and the Aussie, the pound and the yen, the pound, and you're looking at gold. You're
So
looking
many
at,
different. Yeah.
yeah, and now you have to keep track of all the economy, the economic indicators that are going on in those countries too, and that puts a lot of stress on traders, which overwhelms you, which is why I'm saying you're going to start getting this fucking overdrive, and you're going to feel like you're fucking stuck, like you don't know what you're doing. And that's where I don't want you to be. I want you to have structure when you're learning, and I want you to have structure when you're progressing. Like I don't want you to be fucking all over the place. Like that's where I was, but I learned very quickly that
you can't be like that. And that's why I'm trying to teach you the way I'm learning is probably one of the better ways to learn than just flip. Like if I didn't tell you, trade one pair, trade this, like you probably would be trading 3, 4 pairs, right?
Yeah,
But right, I wouldn't doubt it because I was doing the same thing.
yeah.
I was doing the same. I was trading. I was trying to trade everything, like fucking shit that you don't even hear of, like USD Mexican peso. Like the fuck, like no, don't do that. Just stick to one thing, bro. Like it's as simple as that. Remember, keep shit simple. Keep shit simple. That's all I'm gonna tell you is keep shit simple. Like one pair, one session, 1 to 2 trades a day. Simple, simple. Like you don't need to Why do you need to take 16 trades a day? Why do you need to trade 2 times a day? You just need to trade once. Just need to trade
Hmm.
once. You need to do well that one time, and that's it. It's progressive compounding on you as a whole and you on your account, right? Like you gotta
So
learn.
typically, you make about how many trades? Just like one trade per day, or
I try to
like
make
for
1 to 3.
1 to 3 trades?
So if I hit one and it's a win, it's a good win, and there's no other opportunities, then all right, I'm not going to trade. But if I take two on 2 different pairs, I'll only have 2 trades open at a time, though. Remember, there's a difference between taking 3 trades and having 3 trades open, or having 2 trades open. Because if I take 2 trades and they both go south, then I have to manage both trades at the same time, which is tough. So remember that don't have a lot of trades open at the same time unless they're the same pair, right?
I see.
So like don't confuse yourself, just make it easier.
Okay, that's definitely some good information.
Yeah.
Okay, definitely stuff to keep in mind while I'm learning.
hmm Like it's gonna be a long process, bro. Like don't think you're gonna learn everything in like months. Like, it's depending on how fast you want to learn. That's up to you. If you want to learn, like you can learn everything in 3 months and be pretty decent at what you're talking about now. Like it's not hard. It's just you need the right guidance. And I think I'm pretty good at guiding people in the right direction, but I just didn't have the right guidance and like I don't know. You just need to find somebody that's willing to help you too. Help you get into shit. And like
Hmm.
I think that's very important. As when I first started, I didn't really have much and I had to figure out who was reliable and who wasn't and who, like I don't care about who's profitable and who's not profitable. I don't care about other people's money. I don't give a fuck about how much you make or how much you don't make. Like I really don't care. Like that has nothing to do with me and that shouldn't have anything to do with me. So if that's how I'm going to base my mentors off of how much they make, then fuck it. Like that's kind of the wrong way to base it in my opinion. Like yeah, a mentor should have a track record, but also I think a mentor should have just common knowledge and good advice. I think that's a better mentor than someone who fucking makes millions in the market. Like I don't give a fuck.
Hmm.
You make all the money you want. That's you. I'm not you. Just as long as you have good advice and you can teach me the right way of doing something, I'll listen to you. You know, that's it.
I see. Yeah, that's um, that's definitely insightful. It's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah, you're gonna learn a lot, man. I guarantee you it. Just one sec.
Just gotta put in the effort on your
Yeah,
part.
and that goes with everything, man. Like you gotta put an effort to um. Sorry, I'm texting right now. You
Yeah.
gotta put in an effort to do anything in life. If you want to be good at it, right? You can't just fucking be good at it unless you have a God gifted skill. But even with skill, like your talent, you still have to work on talent. Talent doesn't just continuously get better. Talent gives you an edge,
Hmm.
right? So, uh, what else you want to
Yeah.
talk about? Anything else you need? Um, so
Um.
you're kind of becoming like a scalper, I guess. I do want to go over like, um, I just want to see like what you know about the market. So do you know how to like plot resistance and trends and everything like that? Like I want to show you how to kind of analyze, I guess, if you're down.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on, let me